Hello everybody, Mannix here. Got another tabletop knife review for you right here, right now. Feel free to subscribe, hit that little bell notification if you don't want to miss any weekly knife, EDC, flashlight, lighter, gun, ammo videos. And feel free to support me on Patreon, link in the description. Thank you so much for watching. Let's get right into this. This is going to be another blast from the past. Probably used to seeing these on my channel if you've been watching for a while. CRKT Shenanigan. This one happens to be what was nicknamed the Sport version. I haven't seen that title officially anywhere online, but I've seen it in CRKT's official description of the knife, and I recall back in the day people calling it that. Happens to be the K470KKP, or 470KKP, but it's the exact same thing as the original CRKT Shenanigan, or what they now call, or called, the Shenanigan Z. Same exact knife, only there was a bead blasted finish, there was no extra coating on the blade, and then we had a GRN, or glass reinforced nylon. So this version is the exact same thing, only we have a coating on the blade right here. I'm assuming it's a tie-nye. It looks like it. They didn't say what it was, but that's what it looks and feels like, so I'm going to go with that. And instead of the GRN handle, we have aluminum handle frame right here with a rubberized inserts in it. Can't get these anymore. They were discontinued quite some time ago, although CRKT still sells Shenanigans variants of it. It's not this one in particular. This was kind of the fancy version. Back in the day when they sold this one and now the Shenanigan Z, those are your two options. Later they came out with the Tonto. I believe they stopped selling that one. Maybe they still do. I don't even remember. But get the specs out of the way. Overall length is 8.25 inches. The blade length is 3.25 inches. Handle length 4.875 inches. AUS 8 blade steel. Weighs 4.2 ounces according to their website. They say it's 6061 T6 aluminum for the handle scales right there that are bead blasted. They are gorgeous. I love bead blasted finishes. Not so much for function, but for looks, they look nice. They look high quality. It looks like a very high quality folder, even though there's nothing really all that special about it. It's basically just a simple manual liner lock flipper knife. The Shenanigan already is a very simple knife. It's beautiful looking, I think. I love the curves on here. I love the recurve on the blade. I'll talk about that in just a second here, but very gorgeous, simple knife. But this took that knife, the regular black GRN version, and just made it slightly fancier, a little bit cooler. Considerably more expensive, too. These retailed at $124.95. Yikes, just for this knife for the AUS 8, that's kind of a lot, even if it is kind of fancy looking. But I think they sold for like $60 to $70 at the time. It's still kind of expensive for what you're getting, I feel. The original Shenanigan had a much more reasonable price when that was out, but if you find these used in good condition, like I did this one, this is about the condition it was in when I got it, so I would call it good. Not perfect, but it's good condition overall. Functions well, lockup's good, cutting edge was sharp, everything was good out of the box, or out of the package. It didn't have a box when I got it, but I scored this for about $51. So expect to pay anywhere from like 50, maybe 65, or even $70 for a used one, and then for a brand new one, you're going to be paying a little bit higher, maybe close to $100. I think that'll be a fair value for a new in-box discontinued knife like this. So, but again, around $60 is probably what you're going to spend for a used Shenanigan or Sport Shenanigan. Let's weigh it just because that's what I do on my channel. Again, the weights on most, even official knife websites, are usually not right. I don't know why that is. But let's see, it claims 4.2 ounces, 3.72 ounces. That is considerably lighter than what they said. And that's kind of what I imagine from the way it feels. It doesn't feel like it's 4.2 ounces. It feels just a little bit lighter than that. So it's got a reasonable weight to it. It's not a lightweight knife. It's not a heavyweight knife. For aluminum handle scales, that's kind of what you have to expect. If anything, they're more for show. They're just nice. They're elegant. They're clean. They look high class, so to speak. Functionally, they're not really much stronger or better than an FRN or GRN, whatever you want to call it, polymer handle. And honestly, I'm not a fan of rubber grips. I don't like rubber in knives, don't like rubber in guns. I do not like rubber. Even if it is functional, I don't know what it is. I feel like I can damage it or break it or scratch it up very easily. I know I'm not going to. My mind tells me not to start digging, clawing at the rubberized handle scales. But that option is always there. You know, I don't like having a knife or any object for that matter that can be destroyed by my bare hands. That's why I like having lock bar stabilizers on frame locks, unrelated, but same concept. I don't want to just go whoop with my finger and then completely ruin the lock bar forever. You know, if you need a tool to do something like that, that's understandable. But if you can ruin an object or a tool with your bare hands, I think something needs to be fixed about that. That's one of the things I don't like about rubber. It's not a big deal, but it's a little pet peeve of mine. I'm scared to like poke it too much with my nail. It might leave an indent permanently. But they do the job. They're pretty tough, actually. It's not like a really squishy or anything, but it's a rubberized grip right there, which unfortunately lands right on the pocket clip, which is already on the tighter side. Well, it's not that tight, it's just the design of it. You can see that is not a very good pocket clip, I don't think. I don't mind the way it looks. I kind of like how it wraps around the pivot screw. It's kind of cool looking, I think. Some people didn't like that, but I think it's cool. But I don't like how flat it is. It doesn't shoot up, plateau, then pinch down on your pocket. It just kind of does this, like, doesn't really know what it wants to do. I know the advantage to that is that it's tighter. It won't leave your pocket as easily as well, and it will not snag on other objects easily, like a seatbelt or something like that, because it's more flush. That is an advantage, so if that's what you're going for, cool, it's good for that. But I prefer pocket clips that are just to raise up, like the Spyderco Tenacious. Spyderco's pocket clip that they put on almost all their knives, that's a perfect pocket clip. I want that. But this is a little bit flatter than that. It gets the job done, it works, but it's because of how close and how flush it is to the handle, it's a little tight. It can snag a bit on your pocket. And because it lands right on this rubberized handle scale, it's going to make it a little bit tighter. So not great. I would give the pocket clip like a C grade. It's not the worst thing in the world, but it's also not swappable to any other side. It is tip down, right hand carry only. It's got that early 2010s, late 2000s charm to it, where most knives are kind of suffering from that same ailment. This knife, if it came out today in the 2020s, late 2022, as I'm filming this right now, it would not be considered a favorite, I don't think. I think most people would kind of look at it and go like, oh, why doesn't it have this? Why doesn't it have that? Too expensive, not very good. Yeah, I kind of agree. The world has really changed a lot in the last decade. A lot. Not just the knife world, the world in general. But the knife world specifically, at this point, everyone kind of expects ball bearings to be on most blades like this. They'd expect the pocket clip to at least be tip up only, or at least swappable to the left side, but it's not. Tip down, right hand carry only. CRKT was notorious for doing that for a very long time. They've branched out in the last few years, which is nice to see, but this was the curse of CRKT. Tip down, right hand carry only on a lot of their knives. It's not a big deal. I don't mind it. I still, grab it by the bolster and then rotate it into my hand and pop it out like that just fine, but not a big deal, but it was an issue for a long time. It's kind of an outdated knife at this point. It's really cool. I still carry it. It's still good. It's just compared to what we have today, you'd have to make it tip up. You'd probably want to put a ball bearing track on there as well, and then you'd have a pretty good knife. But again, it's a little old now. Still cool, like a very beautiful looking, really sexy organic curves on the handle, which are kind of reflected by the blade right there. It's a drop point recurve, as you can see, very, very moderate recurve on the belly right there, which is great for slicing, great for slashing. It's almost got the kukri thing going on. Not that extreme, of course, but it's reaching out to be a kukri. It's going to be pretty good for piercing. We have a relatively strong tip right there, too. Very, very versatile blade. Love recurves. Love them. Do I like resharpening them? Nope. I don't, but I've freehand sharpened for a long time. I kind of got used to doing the little recurve sharpening technique right there. Not everyone's going to be used to that, though. Just keep that in mind. If you want to resharpen this, you have to watch what you're doing. But I love recurves. They're really cool. Love the finish on there, whatever it is. Probably tie-nye. I haven't really had any issues with scratching or fading off. I haven't used this too much. I've carried it a decent amount, but this knife's a good maybe 9-10 years old now. Don't know how old it was when the person got it, but it is a first production run, so that should probably tell you a little something. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know if these all said first production on them or not, but it was a really cool knife when it came out. Particularly the original version of this, the regular GRN simple version. It was very popular at the time. It reminded everybody of a Kershaw. Very simple, simple flipper. Flicks out every single time. It's manual. Thank God it's not assisted. Just manual flipper knife works. We have a decent lockup on here. Just a hair side to side, not a big deal. No up and down, so the locking mechanism's tight. Internal stop pin, and there you can't see it, but it's within the blade. Is there an advantage to that? I don't know, maybe. Might be slightly better, might not. It doesn't really matter. I've never heard of any issues with these things. They're kind of elegant, though. No, you can't see the stop pin. I think the way this knife is designed, maybe you wouldn't be able to fit a stop pin in there. Very, very comfortable. I love these organic curves in the handle. They really fit the human hand well. Like the finger indentation right there, thumb indentation up here, lands just like that. Extremely comfortable. Again, just it mimics the blade very well. It's just very simple, very good looking knife. The jimping up here is actually very functional. You can see it's kind of lopsided. One side starts on a different end compared to the side on the left. That's interesting. It works very well, though. It's actually very sharp. You can really lock your thumb in there. So if you're into your jimping, cool, you got that. There are some steel liners in there, it looks like, but they only take up about half the handle scale, so it'll help keep it light, which it is, again, like 3.7 ounces was it? Not the 4.2 from what their website says. It's kind of like a high quality, affordable folder. It wasn't super cheap at the time, but it wasn't like really expensive either. You don't get a great blade steel, but you do have some sort of style going on here. There is a nod given to style, as I always say. It's a beautiful, good-looking knife. It sacrifices some performance for it. Yeah, so it's fast, it's comfortable, you can really lock your hand in there. It's a good medium to, I would almost argue, medium-large size folder. For my hands, it's medium, but if you got a slightly smaller hand, or if you're a woman, then it might be considered a larger knife. Medium, medium-large knife. I'll just leave it at that. So it's good-looking, it's comfortable, locks up well, fast. Carries okay, not great. Tip down, right-hand carry only. It's not ambidextrous because of that pod clip right there. Liner locks are like semi-ambidextrous. You can close them lefty, but they're not really intended to be used that way. Same dumb lefty hand I'm trying to use right here. It works. You know, you just can't carry it lefty unless you, I don't know, carried it like this or something, or carried it in your right pocket and just use your left pocket. I'm not left-handed, so I can't tell you from experience. It's a really cool knife overall. There's not really a whole lot bad to say about it. There's not a whole lot good to say about it. Just kind of middle of the road. Kind of cool, good-looking, functional, okay tactical blade, good EDC blade, good looking. All the Shenanigan variants are cool, but this is my favorite of the bunch. This is one of the newer cool knives a lot of people were talking about for a few months when it came out, when I was first getting into knives. It must have been 2011, 2012 or something. Yeah, I was a younger boy back in the day, but this is where it kind of started for me. So there you go, CRKT Shenanigan Sport variant.